that too, but I still don't think that, I think he needs to agree to the 5 year. Cause we're giving up that money and he could sell and flip it and make some good money,
Right.
Yeah. And if he's got it looking good, way things are selling.
Right.
And then where's that gonna go with it? It's supposed to be commercial at the bottom.
That's in our zoning. That's in our zoning regulations.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So he have to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals and
Okay.
get an
To
exception
get
to
it
that.
sold.
To do anything other than commercial.
Okay. That's what I was wondering too.
But I mean, there's nothing that says that he can't convince the board otherwise. I don't think he could. I don't think he could, but the redevelopment commission don't have control over that.
Right, but I don't think we would. You talking about
the Board of Zoning Appeals, the BZA?
Who's all on that?
They don't meet very often. It's Steve and Teresa Barger, Daryl Cutter. Is it Hotickle?
Yeah, Brad.
And who am I forgetting? Jim Deaton.
You got Teresa and Steve both on there?
It wasn't my choice, Jerry.
What upsets me is that Rachel's didn't buy that because
he's still asking me about it.
He can tell him to get the hell off of his land.
Right.
His property.
He told me, he asked if we take it for 170 or 175.
I'd take it for 175.
I would too. But we're legally, and I'm going to talk about this, but we have to wait 30 days after we've kind of accepted public offers, and then we can negotiate with people. So that'll be the 20th. So next Friday, we could potentially accept it, another offer.
Could we announce that tonight to where we could say that if we get another offer on the 20th that we accept it, or do we gotta have another meeting?
I think we would probably, when I was looking into it, and I didn't ask this to John specifically, but I think maybe what we could do is have like a committee of 2 people and myself, where we could negotiate and then work out a purchase agreement and then present that at the Redevelopment Commission for approval. So that we can kind of negotiate, have it heat up, but then final approval will happen in a public meeting.
Yeah, I just don't want it to happen to where he's gonna lose interest by waiting and waiting for us to be. We gotta wait
George,
for the next. Yeah.
I think, like I said, I think we could come to terms and work out an agreement. I mean,
because when you said that, I was like,
and if we have to meet,
tell his ass to get off my property.
Yeah, I would too.
I just told him, well, he ain't allowed on my property when I got on there.
Yeah.
Because he stole some stuff from her house, and my husband's like,
gosh,
that son of a bitch comes on my property again. He says, you better tell them up there. If he wants to talk to you, they can call. It's like, oh. We were having a pole barn built, and he knew it. Well, they put too much gravel in, and Ron gave Steve some gravel. And Ron's like, we're good, because Steve helped him dig something. Ron says, we're good, right? And he's like, yeah. Well, he found out that we were having some of that gravel removed, and he had those Amish people take it all the way over while we weren't home.
Took it off your property?
To his house.
Wow.
While he was building his pole barn. Well, my son happened to come through, and he said, hey, Dad, you know that these Amish people are taking loads down the road to somebody else's property? Oh, he was hot.
I bet.
I was like, oh my gosh. So he does not like him.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see plenty of reasons why someone might not like Steve.
Yeah, well, when you take something without asking, that's a little bit,
Yeah.
So. And I know he was going out to the dump a lot.
Before my time, I assume. Yeah, so we changed the code.
Well, I know, but maybe for a while. Because when we dropped, Ron would ask Dino, hey, Dino, I got something I need to dump off. And Dino's like, take it out there, Ron. Because they were on the fire department together.
Yeah.
He's like, just take it out there. He said, no, we're good,
You're right.
And that, but, so Ron said, not anymore. Now he's like, why? What happened? Man, I'm getting spams like crazy.
I had some today too.
This is another one from Indy. But yeah, I thought maybe Steve would run against me for council.
Barger.
Yeah, cause he's in my
Right.
district. I thought, well, I ain't gonna be too worried if he.
No, I wouldn't worry about him.
Yeah, I'm not worried. And then I knew Barrett's didn't want it.
Yeah. I thought she was gonna do clerk treasurer. I'm surprised she didn't.
No, I think they go boating a lot. They go
Yeah.
a lot with their grandkids.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
She came and talked to me about it a little bit. She was worried about the time off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they do a lot. They
Right.
go north a lot with couples and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Oh, shoot, I still got Randy or Sandy on there. I'm gonna take that off real quick. On the agenda,
Sandy who?
Snaebelt as kind of the new board member.
Why'd you quit?
No, but we don't need to announce it again.
Oh, okay,
It's
gotcha.
on top of the agenda there.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'll just mark it out.
I'll print some copies off and just replace them.
You don't have mine. I don't keep much of these unless I write notes on them. So this is our meeting for March, then we'll come back in April.
That's my suggestion.
I believe we should too. I mean, the 25th in 2 weeks, and I don't think you're gonna get a full.
Well, the other thing too, I mean, if we do work out something with Ranch Hall, I mean, it might make more sense to meet that first week of April. Or
Well,
the
that would
second
be
week of
fine,
April,
yeah.
and then we can
Yeah,
kind of move the April meeting up to kind of stay on track with whatever.
yeah. Is he still wanting to put a pole barn back there?
Last I talked to him, yeah. Oh. Did you get that email I sent about his kind of proposal agreement and stuff? I can print that out for everyone else. We'll go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you guys like a hard copy of that?
Yeah, please.
Let me do that.
Where's Becky at? Floating around on a ship?
Yeah, she's out there somewhere in the Caribbean.
Who'd she go with?
Kim,
Her and Kim went.
one country.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Hey.
It's nasty out there.
Yeah, been that way all day. This morning it was like, gee whiz.
I'm over it.
Well, it'll be snowing coming
I
Monday.
know, gosh, so ridiculous.
Sunday it's gonna be 72 with some rain and then we're gonna have snow Monday.
Is that crazy? It always shocks me every year, but it happens every year almost. I don't know.
Yeah, April, March is a, you never know.
Crazy. My son's birthday is on the 26th, and we never know what to do.
Mine's 31st.
Is it?
My husband's.
Crispy.
Mhm. Is it?
Yeah.
That's so
Okay.
funny.
Yep, 31st, my husband's is the 23rd.
That's funny.
Mhm.
Yeah, we never know what to do. Like, well, we have it outside. It's snowstormed one year, and then it was like 71 degrees. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You just never know.
It snows on ours. We've had Easter on our birthday, on my birthday.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I had him, the day after was Easter. And I was like, I gotta get him out now. I don't want him to be born. Not that it matters, but
Right. Yep.
at least there's no tornadoes.
And you see that one that hit in
Yeah,
Indiana?
yeah.
I think it was big.
I don't want that. I don't have a basement. I have to run my
Basement,
neighbors.
but I still don't want it.
Yeah, one hit.
And then it was about 7:30 or 8:30 last night.
Yeah, something like that.
This is.
It's sad.
Carol put together.
And then Michigan got hit too.
Yeah, that one was bad also.
Mhm.
Makes me sad for those people.
Oh, you got two of them?
Two separate things.
No.
One's kind of a more formal proposal, the other one is more of an agreement between us and them.
Mm.
I think we would probably. If we're interested in something, I think it'd be more of an informal, you. Just because we're not really the ones that would be giving him money directly, it'd have to go through that CDC,
Yep.
the way that he wants it structured.
Yep.
There was a. We can't just give. Money to.
Okay.
Well, hey, Gage, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
Sure. Can you hear us all right? Ooh.
Can you hear us, Gage?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Good.
Okay.
Just make sure that I'm gonna start recording. We're going to get started. I can call her.
She just pulled it. Sorry. I had a headache all day and moving crazy, so now I'm just.
Okay, this is a calling to order of the special meeting for the redevelopment committee. Chris Stewart here. Ashley here. Max
Here.
Jerry here. Sandy absent, and Daryl also absent.
Got the meeting minutes.
Has everybody besides me had a chance to look over? I did look them over. Has everybody else had a chance to look them over?
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to approve them? I'll make a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting passed. And what's next?
So we got Caleb here again with us with 21 Pine LLC regarding his request for assistance for 12870 North Street. Caleb's kind of submitted a proposed proposal for the kind of his request and his plans for the property, as well as a draft development agreement. Him and I have talked a little bit about it. I do think it would probably be more of like an informal, like memorandum of understanding. Just because the money would, the way that you're requesting would still have to funnel through that CDC. I did talk to our attorney about that a little bit, and he's, I think he's fine kind of having, like an informal MOU with the terms, but, in fact, it would have to go through third party. I don't think it would be called like this, like a development agreement.
Okay, I didn't know.
So that, which is fine, but I don't know where we want to start at. If you guys have questions or if you've had a chance to really even look at that development agreement that's proposed. I can say I know the one concern that I mentioned to Caleb, and we've gone back and forth on a little bit, was here, we'll just go through it maybe as kind of a headline. So he's kind of requesting assistance for the purchase of 12870 North Street. Wanting to close on or before May 1st. And align with his purchase agreement. And then there's been a discussion of support an amount of $46,000 to assist with the acquisition and revitalization of the property. He's provided a vision of stabilizing and maintaining the residential units, improve and prepare the commercial space, enhance exterior appearance and overall streetscape, support the continued economic momentum in Dillsboro here. He's outlined his request as a formal vote to approve a contingent commitment of $46,000 in assistance for the property. Established this commitment shall be triggered upon the closing of the sale of any real property currently owned by the Redevelopment Commission that generates sufficient net proceeds. Dedicate $46,000 from those net proceeds towards a grant to be administered through One Dearborn. And I will just make a note there that it would be the Dearborn County Community Development Corporation initiate the grant process at the time of the closing of such property. And then the performance and compliance framework and consideration, we would enter into a separate written agreement with the commission upon mutually agreed performance requirements. And that it would kind of within a 24-month timeline from the date that the funds are dispersed. And then we agree to continue making reasonable, good faith efforts to market and sell properties currently held for disposition consistent with our objectives. And that upon the sale and generated sufficient proceeds to either be allocated, the $46,000 would be allocated towards a contingent commitment. And then just reiterating that May 1st deadline, and for 21 Pine LLC to secure financing and advance closing. The applicant is prepared to move forward in reliance upon the commission's formal report vote approving this contingent commitment. The structure allows the project to proceed without delay while maintaining fiscal position. So that's the proposal and a little bit summarized. And then the actual agreement that was proposed. So again, that would be, it's proposed between the Redevelopment Commission and 21 Pine LLC. Just to reiterate, I do think this would have to be more of an informal MOU based on the structure that Caleb's proposing. We'd have to involve the Dearborn County Community Development Corporation. So our actual agreement would be between the Redevelopment Commission and the Dearborn County CDC, and then the CDC would hold the agreement between 21 Pine LLC.
Okay.
And sorry, not to jump in, cut you off. And ultimately that would be basically one document, right? Like your guys's, how would that be?
I think it would be two separate documents.
So two separate documents, but would they'd be structured the same way?
Right, my understanding is there's been some conversation, One Dearborn's had some conversations, and Gage can stop me if I'm out misspeaking, but and One Dearborn's had some conversations with the CDC. I think they're aware that we're having some conversations. And my understanding is they're kind of willing to defer to whatever terms we agree to.
Okay.
But if so, that those terms would be in our agreement. And then it would also be your agreement.
Yeah, I remember talking early on with Gage about, basically, my question was, is the CDC going to impose their own requirements on me that we didn't agree upon between us? So that's what,
I think we would have, in my mind, I think we would have that kind of MOU that
Yeah.
establishes everything. We would make sure that we get kind of those terms into our agreement, and then they should see
Which
that in yours.
isn't a problem, it's just, to me, that's like the pinnacle agreement, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't expect the CDC to come up with that, but that is a question that I would have, I guess.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
speaking, if I might chime in here, speaking with the CDC, they, they're a tool for the redevelopment commissions and whoever else in the county, can use them. So I spoke with them about this and, they're gonna do what the redevelopment commission wishes, kind of what you guys end up agreeing upon is what they're gonna impose. They're not gonna impose anything extra on top.
gotcha, and the only reason I didn't have that mindset, I just didn't know if it was more of a, what would you say, like, your own guidelines you have to follow, or Gauge. So I wasn't sure, so.
Just making
that
sure
answers
there's
that.
not our guidelines plus something
Yeah,
additional
right,
that they
right.
have. That makes sense.
so then, I guess just a couple highlights. In the agreement, so I think the first couple sections are straightforward. So it does reiterate this improvement obligation. So the developer intends to complete the following: installation of new lower level windows. And then for the interior commercial unit, new flooring, updated lighting, ceiling improvements as needed, electrical updates as needed, trim and paint, installation of appropriate fixtures, preparation of the lower vacant unit to a move-in ready, conditions suitable for lawful commercial use. The performance period begins upon receipt of the grant funds. Developer will use reasonable effort to market and advertise the vacant commercial space. No specific marketing method shall be required. And then under tenant selection and rental authority, developer retains sole exclusive discretion over selection and all lease terms for the property, including rates, concessions, lease structure, negotiated financial terms. The commission will not have approval rights or control over tenant selection, rent levels, or operation management of the property. All tenant uses must comply with applicable zoning and local regulations. There is a section about quarterly progress reports during the kind of 2-year period. The transfer repayment provision, if it's sold or voluntarily transferred within 5 years of the original purchase date, the full amount of $46,000 received under this agreement shall be repaid to the commission. Repayment shall be made within 9 days of closing of such sale. If the property is held for more than 5 years from the original purchase date, no repayment shall be required. A refinance, loan modification, or internal ownership restructure shall not be considered a sale or transfer under this provision. Non-compliance and cure. So if there was non-compliance, so it's not complete within the 2-year time period, or the repayment is not made. If a potential non-compliance situation arises, both parties agree to first engage in good faith discussions to determine a reasonable cure period before any action is taken. The commission's remedy shall be limited to repayment of grant funds actually dispersed. No penalties, additional damages, interest, personal liability, lien, mortgage, or security interest shall apply under this agreement. The agreement shall not create a lien, mortgage, security interest, or other encumbrance against the property. And all obligations remain solely with 21 Pine LLC. No guarantees shall be required of any member, manager, or individual associated with developer. And there's just note about draft is intended as a framework. So I can tell you, and I've mentioned this to Caleb, I mean, my biggest red flag with it all is that no lien or personal guarantee. I mean, that is really our best means of, getting our money back if he were to sell it. I mean, if we just kind of went on an agreement, I mean, we're talking about going to court and having legal fees and that sort of stuff. And I think the best option would be there's a lien on the property. Once he's satisfied our terms, we would release the lien.
And the only reason I say that is because, you know, I go and I put, you guys give me the grant, I go and put, let's just say, more money than I was expecting to, which you guys have a general idea. If there's a lien on the property, like I wouldn't have a problem with the lien, and I know you guys, it makes sense to have a lien. But I would recommend more of an attorney written contract, that's a binding contract. It's not a lien on the property, because if it's recorded as a lien and I go to refinance, at closing, I have to repay that money back.
So my question is, can we impose the lien if for non-compliance, that we don't impose the lien unless there's non-compliance? Because my thing is, I mean, even like within a 24-hour without reasonable cause, I mean, God forbid something happens. Unfortunately, we all know life happens and people get sick and people have, you know, that's reasonable cause in my mind. If something catastrophic happens, and I get what he's saying, because I know we're working in the bank, if you have a lien, your hands become very tied, and it's an ugly little word. I think it's more of a word than, and it is ugly. Is there a way we can word it as if things come into non-compliance, we would put a lien, but otherwise we just have a good faith agreement, or are we?
That's up to you guys. I mean, I can tell you, I don't think it's a good idea. I think there should be some kind of recorded financial mortgage note, whatever you want to call it, that there's something that says if this property is sold, it's flagged that the redevelopment commission is paid back first unless that's released.
Yeah, that, and I agree to that. I agree to that, but if I go to refinance the property and we have that agreement in place, the closing company, I'm not gonna be able to say, hey, well, we got this agreement and, you know, I'm not selling the property, I'm just refinancing, pull money out if I need to. They're not gonna care. They're gonna say, you got a lien against the property, you have to pay this $46,000 lien off in order to refinance it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
is there a way to, is everybody following that?
I'm following it, but I'm thinking in 5 years, do you really think you're gonna need to refinance it
In 5 years?
Yeah.
Within the 5 years.
within the 5 years?
I would like
I
the
mean,
opportunity. I mean,
The reality is too, and because I see what the rates are doing right now, within 2 years, the rates could plummet enough that he wants to refinance. You know what I mean? Because within 2 years, as of right now, the rates are dropping slowly. What do I think they're gonna do in 2 years? That's not for me to decide, but I know right now they're dropping. People are refinancing right now because what they refinanced at 2 years ago is higher than it is right now. So I mean, I get where you're saying, but I do think we have to have some wording in there saying, you know, at time of refinance, we'll agree to do this again for another 3 years or so, or whatever, to extend it out to that 5 years. Just something saying, we are obligated, if you change ownership, we get our money.
Yeah, I wonder if it could just be like I don't know what type of liens there are. I'm okay with a lien, as long as I can refinance.
Yeah.
And keep it.
Because our thing isn't if you refinance within yourself,
It's if
that-
I sell it,
yeah,
right? And
right.
I don't, and the agreement's written in here that if I sold it, you guys get paid back within 3 months.
I mean, there's nothing that says that we couldn't renegotiate the lien or whatever we call it. You know, if you want to refinance, it's worth X, and we come back and we can restructure it. But I think just out the gate, I mean, not.
Yeah, I mean, I would be
think-
even willing to say that, as, you know, in hopes that most of us would still be here in 3 years, if we refinance at that time, we would be willing to say, you've done great so far, you're just refinancing, we're gonna keep our portion on the table. Even if they say you have to sell that back into us, we're gonna funnel it right back to you, not a big deal. But we do have to have something saying, if you refinance it because you put it in, you know, your friend Charlie's name, that we're getting our money back.
Yeah,
You know what I
that
mean?
would trigger
that's
a sale,
a
in my
different,
opinion.
if you're just refinancing because rates went down significantly and you need another 50,000 because, suddenly.
Didn't we put a clause in that for that?
I think
Or
we're
like
saying
with
that,
that, when, if that,
If
I
it's
would
an
just be-
internal refinance, that's not as much of a big deal as if it's, I'm refinancing it in,
Cause we can always release the lien at a later date, we don't, as far as I understand, we can even renegotiate something except for the full payment. But to me, I would just want that on there initially, just because that's really like our only real security outside of going to court of getting that money back, and I mean, I just don't think I don't think we wanna go down that path. So that's,
well, and the other thing is too, is when you put it solely with the LLC, those crash all the time, and then we're,
Yeah.
you disband the LLC and we're like, that is not what we said. So, I mean, that's I definitely see what you're saying, but I also see, financially, it would be harder for you to personally refinance it.
and just say someone, or a couple of you or a few of you are not on this board in 3 years, and I'm like, hey, we talked about, me being able to refinance, and these people, other people were like, well, that's not what this agreement says.
right,
And I am looking at it from an investment perspective. I'm not even looking out at it for a way out. I don't want a way out of it. I want a way to refinance my money, basically.
Well, and our hopes are you make decent money on it and you can refinance it, and then you're purchasing another property here in Dillsboro.
Yeah.
We're more than
Yeah.
willing to help you do that. There's a place over here on Lenover.
Well, just like you said though, like even if
Yeah, that
if it dropped the percentage, 1%. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. I would consider, paying for an appraisal and all that to just get the lower rate.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not sure it will go down enough in 2 years, but
But look at what from COVID
Yeah.
to the
Exactly.
today.
I mean,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
because rates were as low as I see mortgage rates as low as like 2.3, 2.5%
Right,
from COVID days. And
Oh,
then
okay.
people
I was like,
purchased
where-
at like
Yeah.
6 and 7%, and now it's going down again. I mean, also the CD, we'll talk about that too.
Yeah,
Cause
right.
I
It's
got,
on the-
yeah, so, but yeah, I know right now that,
Rates are like
Cusp.
6 and 7 right
What if
now.
there
yeah,
was-
and that cusp is falling, they're starting to see it drop. Cause I talked to some of the lenders the other day just for funsies. And they were saying, where rates are coming down, and they're excited about it because when rates come down, we get more loans. And I'm on the retail side where I'm like, no, it puts our CD rates lower too, because then the money invested, those people are getting a lower return.
I guess what's there, I guess I don't really understand, what the concern would be with like a legal agreement.
because if you sell it and you got the money, you're out of here, our only obligation is to sue you with that legal agreement. And that's a drawn out expensive
Well, if I
process.
sell it, then I have to pay you back.
If you go bankrupt, our only source of getting that money back is to go to that sheriff's sale, tax sale, whatever it is, and bid on at least the value that whoever you mortgage is through, to go higher than them, so that we at least get an interest in the asset, otherwise our money's gone.
Okay,
So
I
it's-
haven't put my mind there.
So it's like, in my mind, it's our only sure real protection of our $46,000 investment.
I mean,
I-
couldn't we agree to that? And then if you're like, hey, the interest rates have dropped, I'm wanting to refinance, it's gotta be underneath your name and everything, not somebody else's. We can go from there, right?
I mean, could we word it as, it has to be under an LLC that he is the main owner of, or without it being,
And what's that process look like if you guys agreed to drop the lien? If I wanted to refinance, I said, hey, I want to refinance, like,
I mean,
what's that process
That's
look
just
like?
filing a release of lien. I mean, we would probably come in, work out an agreement, have the terms, sign it, do a release of lien. I mean, we could even file a new lien and you know, at a different structure, less amount. You know, maybe we say, hey, we agree, you've, you know, completed half of your obligation, we'll reduce it to 23,000. You know, we'll follow this and reduce this one. I don't think it's too terrible. But like I said, it's up to you guys. Like I said, personally, I would want it. I know we're talking with John, our attorney, he thinks we should definitely have it.
How,
you know,
so is there a way we can find out how tedious it is to release it and then agree upon a new lien?
we can. Like I
Because
said,
I mean,
we
I don't
liens.
see a problem with it as long as we know that if he comes in and says, hey, I'm trying to refinance, I need something to show the release of the lien. And here's the paperwork showing that when we refinance, we're gonna agree to this new lien amount for, like you said,
Right.
because he's obligated half of it, but we still want to make sure he keeps it that additional 2 years. We say, okay, well, we're gonna release it and put it down to 30,000. And then, you know, now he's only on. I mean, can we find out how that, because I
can tell you,
if we can do that, that would.
I've never done something like this, but I've done plenty of like grass liens, we've done sewer liens. Someone comes in, they pay it, we go, file a release of lien. And then
Okay.
we're literally just referencing the previous lien, the record number of it, and.
I don't think it
record
takes that
It's,
long.
it shouldn't,
Yeah.
it's just like if you have a mortgage and you pay your mortgage off.
So really, it could be like because that really doesn't take long.
Yeah, I don't
either. That's
think
like,
it's-
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that would just be something we just kind of said, yeah, we're gonna release it and drop the paperwork and he can take it with him to his mortgage and say, well, they've released the lien.
Yeah, we can record it too.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
and it's off the chain of title.
Yeah.
Okay, what if, did we do because I'm on the other side of the coin. You guys, I get it too, you guys want protection, I want protection to be able to refinance. So could we do like a guaranteed release of lien upon request
To refinance?
to refinance, only to refinance?
to
And then-
refinance
then-
within your name. I would want it to say
Well,
that.
it won't refinance out of the business
Yeah.
anyways.
But yeah, I just want it to be like, yeah, we agree to or we agree to release the lien if the business, or if the property is refinanced.
But I could not come in here and say, I want you to release the lien. Like I would have to show you proof of refinance, cause I
Right, so we would.
wouldn't be like, try and go sell it out from under you and then, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, that almost just seems like we're trying to like lie to the bank almost. Like,
Well, no, it's just-
would we refile the lien after you refinance? You know what I mean? Like, they would let you, would they not? You don't think they would let you refinance it? I mean, it's just like having a second mortgage almost, but you're.
Well, that's what I mean, if I refinance though, the bank's gotta be in first position regardless. You know, and you guys would have a second position lien. Any lien against the property has gotta be paid off before we
Right.
refinance. So to me, it's like, what if I go to refinance and you know, you guys get paid back and then you guys decide, well, we don't wanna give you the money back now. Now that it's done and, you know, Main Street's bumping down there and like,
Right.
what do I don't have any protection.
Right, I don't have an answer, I don't know the ins and outs and details of that.
So I'm wondering if there could be at that point, you guys put a lien on it, okay, and then we do a guaranteed release of lien upon my request for refinancing. And that's the only way you guys can will release the lien. That way you release it. I can refinance, then I will, you know, and then I would have a guarantee of like being okay to put a lien back on the property, you know, I would sign that. It's just a break in the note, I guess. And maybe there's something out there that's already, this happens a lot, so I just don't know.
Right.
I'm asking, our chief loan officer, just to see, I mean, this is the way, so that you guys know, I said, if a town has a lien on a property and the property is refinanced by the owner, does the lien need to be released before it can be refinanced? Is that it? So that way, because I know she goes to a lot of closings, I mean, and she does a lot of property, so I wanna see what her take is on just because I know she knows the ins and outs of loans. If you have questions about checking or savings or CDs, I've got all the answers. IRAs, HSAs, but loans, I'm just not, I'm not that. And luckily she's used to talking to me, so she probably is reading between the lines enough to understand what I'm really going after here.
It probably makes sense at some point to see if we can get John to actually sit down at a meeting with us too.
Yeah.
Just so it's not me just kind of talking to him and,
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, because it is hard for us to, to wrap our minds around.
Yeah.
And if we have our town attorney, then.
Yeah. Cause I don't know. I don't know what a lender would.
Her
require
answer
of that.
said it would either need to be refinanced, which would release the lien, or the refinancing company would need to be in the second position, as in a second mortgage. And I see where he would,
No bank's gonna refinance under.
I know for certain Friendship won't refinance as a second lender
Yeah,
on the main, like they'll do a second mortgage for like, but we even prefer, I think, and this may be just me speaking out of turn, but I believe if we're a second lender, we want to be the first one too. We want to be your first mortgage and your second mortgage, so.
so can you read that again, so I understand it?
Just 1 second, so.
So you refinance it to basically pay off the lien as an option. Or they would want to be first over ours, which.
Well, the bank would be first naturally.
Right.
Because I'm financing.
Right, and I don't know that we necessarily have a problem with the second.
Okay, and then, so from my understanding, I might be wrong, but I think I'm not able to refinance with a
Right.
lien on it, or else I'm gonna pay you back. And then at that point, I'd be okay with that if there was somehow guarantee to get back into it,
Right.
but then it just
That's
kind of gets a little sticky too, as
Right.
time goes by,
So
and
you
there's
get us back
different people here,
Yeah.
have a new agreement
yeah,
and then,
Yeah,
have to have it voted
So-
on and.
right,
she said it would either need to be refinanced, which would release the lien, or the refinancing company would be in the second position, as in a second mortgage. I said, so if we are on it, we would have to be paid, or at least say we release it. And then in parentheses, I said, even if it were to be added back after, or we have to be shown as paid. She said, call me.
Gage, do you know, how the agreement was set up in Greendale for like their, if they defaulted on the terms or something?
Yeah, so in Greendale, they would have to pay back the $650,000 to the DCDC, and then that would go back to the Greendale Redevelopment Commission. In terms of a lien on the property, their verbiage in their agreement's a little different because the hotel is generating TIF. So if the hotel doesn't generate the amount of TIF that they said they were going to generate for the city of Greendale, then the city of Greendale was able, I believe, to put a lien on the property to get the TIF tax revenue over the next 20 years or whatever. So it was kind of a whole different scenario than what we're discussing here.
But it's not, they have the option to put a lien on if they don't hold their end of the bargain, is that right?
I think that's what's in this agreement. I was there earlier. I'm just trying to find it again.
So I guess we'll just keep that in mind. We'll continue talking about some of these other terms.
Sounds
I don't know if we should start at the top, and since I started at the bottom now. Another concern that I mentioned, and just, I'm kind of going worst case scenario, so I mean, I might sound hard, and I think.
You're just being
Caleb's-
safe.
Yeah,
Good,
no, I get
fine.
But, like, we haven't seen any numbers. I don't know, what return Caleb's hoping to get. I don't know what he's trying to lease these properties for. I don't know how much money he's trying to invest in the properties. and as it currently stands, we have really no say other than the town's zoning regulations on what actually goes in there. And maybe a terrible example I mentioned to Caleb, but you know, let's say someone wants to open a specialty retail shop, restaurant, whatever it is, and then there's also someone that's willing to pay more that wants to open a vape shop.
That would be awful.
Okay,
You know,
so
It's
she
just
said
my
that,
opinion, but yeah.
And it's like, you know, if there's a certain rent amount, like maybe the person that wants to open, you know, the small special retail shop is not wanting to pay near the amount, and it's like, fine, you know, we'll agree to vape shop. But if it's, you know, a 5-10% difference in lease amount, I would want our investment to at least be an incentive to say, all right, let's get this business that we want to try.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
she did say that it would look very badly to take it off and then put it back on. She's like, a lien holder is not, or a bank financial institution's not gonna want to see that or hear that or think that that's even a possibility. But we could say we were willing to sign a subordination, which would mean that the new lien holder would take first lien again, and we would be willing to be the second.
okay,
So if we were willing to do that, she said most lane companies aren't gonna have a problem with that, as long as we sign something saying we're willing to come in second. And she's only worked for Friendship, so she knows a very conservative leaning. So if she says most places would probably be willing to do that, I
Yeah.
kind of believe that most places would.
So what I could do, I could maybe share some of these concerns with John and, see if we can't, because I'm curious if we couldn't maybe get something formalized that you could take to your lender
Mhm.
and see what their thoughts are on it, you know?
Yeah, which I'm actively, obviously, working on, so.
Right.
As you know, as long as, that'd be fine, it's just more time being for me at
Yeah.
this point.
Sure.
But that, I mean, does that sound like something that, like
Yeah,
a
if there's like a-
subordination saying that we would be willing not to remove our lien, but to be second lien? To
Yeah,
put ourselves in behind afterwards.
yeah. Yeah, so as long as I can refinance, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Maybe I should call it a closing company and just make sure that they wouldn't be forced to pay that out as a, you know. They might be required to, I don't know, that's how I understood it, but. If there's it's okay to
I
be,
think if they want it free and clear, it has to be paid, but if it goes through like, you know, a bankruptcy process or like a share sale, then I think we would actually have to bid, we'd have to bid at least their mortgage amount, or bid more than what the bank's willing to bid to get it back. So either we lose our.
yeah, no, I was just saying if I go to refinance, as long as I can refinance. I know I said that 100 times. That's all I care about. Because a lot can happen in 3 years.
Right. Which she said that too, because I said, you know, he's wanting to leave the door open to refinance. She's like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that is, I mean, that's how most people bring more money back in. When you're putting money in, you can refinance. Because now property values have gone up and everything's looking
Yeah.
sunny, happy, and your rates are going down and it's beautiful. So yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the reality is we want you to be able to do that, because the more money you have to play with, the more likely you are to play with it, you know, in our town. So I don't think we're far apart. I personally don't feel like we're far apart, because we all want
The same
this,
thing.
we all want the same thing. We want you to have the ability to be, you know,
I think it's just, hopefully there's a way we can find good work for both ends.
Yeah, right.
I don't have the answer to that.
right.
And
And I think honestly, it's just once bitten, twice shy. We really want to make sure that we're in a situation where we're not getting bit by something that we don't see coming.
yeah, that makes sense to me. I just wanted to address your other point about tenant selection.
Yes.
I mean, if I would be comfortable coming up with a percentage. At the end of the day, you know, I definitely want something that you guys want in here. So like your example, like a vape shop or like a small bakery or something like that.
Right.
I think it's pretty obvious. Now, if we're talking $200, which realistically, I think I was just talking to our, property manager just about rates and stuff like that, which I wanted to address that too. But I think that unit could get $1,000. And I don't think if I advertise it as $1,000, you're gonna get the people who are okay with paying $1,000, you know?
Yeah.
Now if they came and, you know, said, well, give you $950 because I, you know, can't afford that or whatever. I'd be okay if that, and you guys wanted that business in there. With that being said, I'm not worried about tenant alignment, I'm worried about timing. Okay, so if I have somebody come to me, just say one person, and you guys are like, oh, you know, that like, you two like it, and you two don't like it. It's like, well, do I have to wait on you guys to make a decision to, you know, and miss an opportunity perhaps? Like there'd have to be something that's like, says, something's gotta be swift, you know, we gotta work quickly.
Well, we have one more person who's not here today.
Yeah, that's it.
So there's always somebody, hopefully, that is gonna break that. It's gonna be,
Yeah.
gonna be the 3 to
Outnumbered.
2 or the outnumbered, you know, on that also.
Because
It
30
just,
days.
I mean, my thing is I've paid enough attention to you and your character. I don't know that you're gonna go so far out of line that we would want to agree, but our reality, I can't see you, you know, putting a lady of the night place down there. You know, I can't see that being something you're willing to go into, to, you know what I mean? I
We
can't
would
see.
probably all agree.
I
Probably be
mean-
fine.
Yeah,
You know, I can't
But
see you
I don't
being
actually
willing,
love that to be
yeah, I
right,
mean,
but-
we would wanna say, but I can't see you coming to us and being like, you know, I've got these people that wanna rent it, and I'm pretty sure they're horrible people, but, you know,
Yeah,
we're gonna go ahead
obviously.
and try it.
Yeah.
I can't see you doing that either, but I can't see you coming to us with things that we're truly gonna, like, even amongst ourselves, be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you know.
I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Caleb, what you're saying though is like, if somebody comes to you and wants to move in there and stuff, and you don't want to have a committee to decide what you can do with it.
Because
Proper.
at the end of the game, you know, at the end of the day, it's like timing
Well,
when it
yeah,
comes to.
if this person wants that place and you say,
Are we
well, I
talking
gotta
about
go, I gotta go find out, and
I think we're talking about.
you got 30 days,
Yeah,
and that person says, I don't want to wait 30 days.
right, so if a person's in business and they're looking for space, they're not just going to one place.
Well, what if it's something more, I mean, Derek has an idea of what we would have to, if we have a list of 10 business types that we would have to vote, if you have 2 options, we would vote if it was I mean, we'll use his example of the vape shop versus these two, both the bake shop and bakery both came to you and they're within $50 of each other. You already know.
We're gonna want that bakery.
Yeah, yeah.
That we want the bakery,
And
but
maybe it's a situation where we don't have to bring it in here and vote. You know, maybe it's something we can put in the agreement, that it's, you know, special retail, we want them to have, you know. Maybe like office is the baseline, what rent you're trying to get. If they're special retail, maybe we're asking you to advertise as like a 5% discount on the lease, and if it's something less discourageable, you know, we might have to 5%. I don't know, like, I'm just trying to think of a way to make it.
Yeah, and I get that, but at the end of the day, if I want 1,000 for that space and I feel like it's fair,
Yeah.
then I don't care who it is, but I want them to align with you. So I'm not gonna charge anybody more than that. I'm not gonna be like, hey, you know, your insurance
Right, and
company.
we're
you're
more like
successful.
wanting to do family friendly, you know, some kind of business
Yeah.
for our hometown.
Now
We
there's.
don't wanna be like, oh, did you hear what went into Dillsboro,
Yeah.
you know, or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Not that kind of dog.
Yeah,
What do you guys think? I mean, there are probably gray areas that we're not even thinking about, well, let's use an
Yeah,
insurance
sure.
company, for example, and they have an office in there. Like, is that okay? That's not really community oriented
For that.
in a sense,
Yeah,
but
but
It's certainly
everybody
better.
here in town needs
It's not
insurance, so it's
bad,
not,
there's nothing in there now, so.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's how I
It's-
feel about it.
yeah.
Just so you know, I'm coming to you guys to help to get into it.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily looking for like a partner, you know what I mean, to where they're, like, I'm taking the risk. I'm financing it, you know, I wanna deliver on the deliverables. And when it comes to the cosmetic, you know, the windows, the flooring, the electric, and give that space the opportunity for somebody to come in. But beyond that, it's hard for me to be like in a partnership,
Yes.
in a sense.
well, and I mean,
Oh,
and
yeah, you don't know who's gonna.
I
want to.
understand that too, because I'm sitting here thinking, well, what would we not want in there? I mean, obviously,
I know.
if a vape shop was the only thing interested, is that what we want? I mean, maybe not, but IGA sells vapes too.
Right.
I'm
And
sure
it's-
that J&J says too, you know, it's still business, whatever. You know, if, maybe some of us wouldn't want, you know, an arcade for kids, well, I mean, but it's
Well,
still
that would
getting
give
you
the
money,
kids
and then
something.
maybe, you know, that is a slippery slope, and I can see where you're coming from.
I mean,
On both ends of us, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
we redid the park, Iron Timbers redid the park in Osgood. And people either loved it or hated it.
Mhm.
You know, it was great for the community, because we transformed the space. But people always have an opinion, so it doesn't matter
Well,
what goes in
Yeah, no
there.
matter what, that's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
happen.
you're right.
I do think the redevelopment commission's taking a bit of a risk too. I mean,
Well, yeah.
we don't have a lot of funds. I mean, as you
Yeah.
can see, we're trying
Yeah.
to sell what little we have to help you.
Yeah,
And we're kind of, in a sense, cutting ourselves off for the next person who can help as well. So that's,
yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that, yeah, but going into the agreement, like, isn't the goal, the overall goal to get a business in there?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm gonna try to provide. I'm gonna provide a space for a business to go.
Yeah.
And, from my point of view, if I did that within our agreement terms and did it how I said I was gonna do it, I feel like I
Right.
held up my end of it.
Yeah.
Anything beyond that, I feel like it's more of a,
Make-
the risk is keeping the building, in my opinion, keeping it as it is and hoping for someone to come along and do what I'm proposing to do. But I get it, you know, you're putting money in there too, but, I can't view it as a partnership. You know what I mean? I'm viewing it as like a grant to invest my time and money into it, make it a, you know, a special place and do it well. So that's kind of like my 2 cents on it. As far as like we talked about the apartments, I would be okay with putting in writing that I'm not gonna make it into low income apartments. So that was another thing that we talked about briefly.
Yeah. I'm personally, I don't know how you all feel. I'm not too concerned about apartments, especially upstairs. I think second floor would make great spots for apartments.
Yeah.
It brings people living in town that are gonna support businesses. I don't know that we care how. we dice
I
that
feel
up.
like if he's buying the building, then apartments is his.
I hope
What
they help
is
support.
ever for the retail for us is what.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as a, what you do with those,
Right.
that's your business.
Well, I mean, the apartments, I mean, I've always been in the mindset that Dillsboro needs more housing.
Yeah.
We need more housing there. We could double our housing probably and still bring more people in, because it's just it's almost impossible to find housing in Dillsboro just because everything fills so quickly. As far as the retail, the only thing I would be concerned it would be if it was something that was considered almost, cause like even Side Street, it's a great little bar. I mean, I wouldn't even be concerned if he said he was gonna rent to a pizzeria that had a liquor license. I mean,
Right.
there's very few things that I'm looking at going, do we really want that in
Yeah.
Dillsboro? You know, the reality is anything that I think is gonna be something I don't wanna see there at all, I'm almost certain he's not willing to be in
Well, is there
partnership with.
maybe a list you guys could make and then we just agree upon that?
That's kind of what I'm wondering, like, We could do something like that.
For the-
And
for the
just keep it
retail?
General.
Yeah, just, I mean, even if we just very generally said, you know, we would prefer not a bake shop. And that's, but if that's what it is, that's what it is. I mean,
Yeah,
the reality
we
is
have
we
our
don't have-
preference, but
Yeah.
you know, we can't
Yeah,
control.
but,
can't control
but
it.
we absolutely don't want
Which is in
context times two.
Yeah, don't do.
Please don't do that to us.
Oh, Lord, I live right down the road.
Yeah, I mean, my son
One of
walking
the
up
things
and
I
down the
did.
street,
Kind of tying his hands, you know.
yeah,
Mhm.
and that's what I don't
If
want,
it's
that's
his-
what I'm starting to
if
hear
it's
too,
his
that,
Property and so forth. I mean, if we had somebody downtown now, they had a piece of property and they wanted to put a business in there. They don't come to us or to the town board and say, can I put that business here?
Well, that's true.
That's my property.
They're not asking
As-
for 46,000.
As a law,
That's also
I know,
true.
I know, but I thought with our 46,000 is guaranteed with this lien and things that you were just talking about. You know, but, you know, I know him very well, and he's not gonna put in a adult bookstore
You
or
don't seem
something
like
like
you would.
that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's honestly my only two real, I don't want my kid walking by and seeing people that go in there and
Yeah.
work like that, and I really don't want him walking by and seeing people carrying out stuff that,
Yeah.
that's my only, other than those two, I really,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That
pretty-
even Side Street it's a great little place, it's a, I have not heard of anything troublesome happening there. And I think I would have by now, if it was a trouble spot, you know, I don't think there's much that's even gone on in town that, but I also don't think that you would be willing to hit what our, oh my God, please don't say that we gave you money for that.
Yeah.
Stance would
I
be,
understand.
you know?
That wasn't us.
Yeah, and I think that even if it was something that half the town, like you said, that Charlie posted on Facebook the other day, that people are upset about the lights being up. You can't make everybody happy all the time.
Yeah, you're gonna have somebody.
I mean,
No matter
someone's
what
not
it
gonna
is,
like
someone's
it,
gonna
even
say
if
something.
it's, even if
On
it's, a-
Facebook, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it may be a sandwich shop that's closed on Mondays too, and that's gonna make
People are
people
angry,
unhappy.
yeah.
That's just the way it's gonna be.
Yeah,
I mean,
we have our name tied to the coffee shop. We don't own the coffee shop. We just renovated it and we're good friends with the owners. And they're closed on Saturdays. And they're not even open Sunday mornings. And it's like, you know, we hear it and we see it and we try to encourage them to, you know, we don't. But I understand, yeah. So I get that. And honestly, I mean, I know these are public meetings and everything and people can get on and watch them, but, you know, I don't even necessarily have to be tied. I don't want any like type of personal recognition or anything. I mean, if people didn't know I owned it, it would be better.
Right.
Just because, you know, because of those reasons, like if somebody knows me, I don't think anyone would ever come to me personally and say, what'd you do? Like you ruined Dillsboro.
No.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't necessarily, I'm not saying we have to have any of this stuff in there.
yeah,
I'm just
I
saying-
personally, I don't see why we would need that, just simply because I trust his judgment on that one.
Yeah, it's
I
good to
mean-
talk about, but I feel like
Yeah.
we're on the same page.
I mean, I feel like if we look at you and say, hey, please don't. That if you knew you were gonna be putting in someplace that was like super questionable for families, because that's what we're looking for, is we're looking for either a family business or a offices. I mean, would we prefer it be a family business? Obviously, but if someone wants to rent offices space from you.
Right.
It's better to have that than nothing, because right now we have nothing.
The building's gonna look good, that matters a lot too.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So that to me is, as long as we have it in there, that if it is going to be something that's considered vulgar, you have to come to us.
Yeah, I'm
But I
pretty-
mean, but I also know that that's not gonna happen on your part
You
either.
guys could read me pretty well, I feel like, and I'm not hiding anything.
That's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Yeah, and I feel faithful in that too. I mean, I've paid attention enough to you that.
Yeah.
That I'm not, and I don't wanna
Yeah.
tie your hands either. I
Yeah.
don't want
We like
you to.
it.
Well, that's what I would ask, just. The less I could have my hands tied, the better, but I'm also willing to work with you guys if you have to have something a certain way.
I think our big thing is the lien. We, even if it's
Yeah.
the subordinate, I text it to myself because I can't remember what she said, but it's subordination,
Yeah.
where we said we were willing to go second.
I have a note on that too, just to call the
Yeah.
title company and make sure.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that, you know, we just wanna, I'm more concerned about financially protecting ourselves than,
Yeah.
because I trust you're not gonna,
Yeah, we need a safety net for that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So just to keep, do we want to just leave that out? The use of the property, I mean, do we want to leave that out of any kind of agreement, understanding we have with them? I'd be fine with that.
I mean.
Yeah.
I have faith that you're
I
not
think in
gonna,
all good faith, I think it'll be fine.
yeah, I don't really need that in there, just because I truly believe he's not going to do that, and if he does, you know, I'll be the first one picketing the place, and that's
So-
gonna really make me mad.
So-
If I
I'll
had,
write up
yeah, if we have to picket the place, I'm gonna be really mad about that, because I don't like it.
We're not gonna work with you
I know
anymore.
where it lives.
Okay, see, there we go.
What about the improvements Caleb outlined? So he's basically proposing to replace the windows, redo the floor, update lighting, ceiling, electrical, trim paint. Is there, I mean, is there anything else you want to see, expect to see, or
That's.
I didn't even
interior,
expect that much, I mean, I've not looked, other than, he's already said he's gonna make the property livable for a tenant.
Good, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that,
leasable? So
And-
basically,
and-
if we can send the building inspector in there and it's for lease and he says,
yeah, I mean, I don't want you
Green
sending
tag.
me in there to do the electricity, because I promise you,
Yeah,
I'm good at banking, but we had a little spark going on outside the bank, and I was like, what is that? It was something sparking, and did I know that? No, I was just like, wonder, I said, do you think I ought to go pick up the thing? And they're like, maybe. And luckily, our maintenance guy came and saved the day, because I was getting ready to go out there and,
Get electrocuted.
yeah, and it was attached to the breaker, and it was only 110, so thank goodness, it probably would have just zapped me.
it takes an amp to kill you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, and let's just admit, the heart attack probably would have done it, because, so, you know, as long as we know you're gonna do what you have to do, because you want the building to be up to code too.
Yeah, I had a,
You're taking that out, right?
we'll do no restrictions, or we can just say commercial retail on first floor.
Commercial,
Yeah.
just do the commercial retail.
We thought of that,
First
yeah,
floor.
commercial retail on first floor.
Yeah, I prefer you not make it apartments, but.
yeah,
And there are zoning
Yeah.
restrictions
Yeah.
against that too in our current code.
I mean, it's gonna be nice though, because they've got that hair salon and now a coffee shop going
I'm so
in.
excited
With
about
food.
that.
She's opening at
And the
6 a.m. All right,
Cool.
6 a.m., coffee shop.
Drive
Drive-through.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
and
so
food.
awesome.
From the old US Bank.
I'm so excited about that.
I drove by there, I'm like, oh, look, they're working on it now. So-
Oh.
That is
When I
so
found
good.
that out, I
You go
was,
in
and
and sit
then I
in,
asked,
or
and they
you go
said
through the
drive
drive-through
through
and get what
6
you want.
a.m. I was like,
Perfect.
So we're getting a coffee shop.
that's
That's
awesome.
so
my
good,
life
I
is,
know.
I mean,
Getting better.
Caleb, you could, you know, you could make it even better by having someplace down there too.
I mean, it's really best case, honestly,
Cause that's gonna draw people downtown too,
Yeah.
especially if everyone knows, oh, you know, I go get my
Yeah.
hair and my coffee, and then I, you know, it's going the right direction. I feel
Yeah,
really, really
this is
good.
Yeah.
I really wanna see you in there, because I know you're gonna open that up and do something. I've just
We
got
just
this,
lost the Blue Willow House too. That was
I know, that was really
disappointing. So we
disappointing.
need more stuff.
yeah,
Jay Knowles sent me a text and sent me a link to that coffee shop, and he's asking how I feel about it, I'm like, that's
it's
the
open
next
retail,
best
right?
case scenario,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
You-
it's
I mean, it
Yeah.
gives you more time to get it in, get something in
Yeah, I
mind.
mean, ultimately, yeah, I'm more glad for Dillsboro that you guys are getting that, because I love coffee, you know, and I'm at the coffee shop every morning, I really do think it's good for
Very good.
the town, so.
So that was, I think, the main things in the agreement that I just want to make sure we're kind of all right with. I'm not too concerned about reporting that stuff right now. Are we all in agreement on the 5 years?
Yeah,
Kind of,
Yeah.
and then 2 years to kind of have it open, available,
Yeah,
lease, market it, whatever that may be.
yep.
And basically, in my opinion, that just means we can send a building inspector in there and says everything's approved and be leased out.
I don't think
Yeah.
it'll take that long.
I don't think it will either,
It's
and
gonna be a good space.
I just
and-
we're clearly saying it's ready to be leased, not that you're gonna have someone in the
Right.
door.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
being leased,
Right.
because you can't control that, you can't control if, COVID happens again and nobody's leasing anything.
Yeah, you never know, but.
But you've got it prepared in 2
Yeah.
years to be. So,
Yeah. Does everybody feel okay about, my initial, request of basically, and I don't know how that would even be, if that's just an agreement or what. How do you see that, Derek, with the 46,000, since you guys have the property you're trying to sell it? How does that work?
To me, I think we should formalize an MOU.
Okay,
That, like you said, that we're making good faith efforts, and I'll talk about that shortly, and I can probably talk about it now while we're on it, but, since we had that public offering period, we were obligated to average 2 appraisals. So the fact that we didn't get an appraisal, we wait 30 days, so March 20th, we can privately negotiate lower rates. So I don't think we're trying to hold it, I don't think we're trying to get top dollar.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident we'll get well over $46,000.
Yeah.
It might be well under $200,000, but, I think we'll be able to sell it, hopefully. Like I said, as long as you're comfortable with that we're actively trying.
and I think we want to have that pull in too. We want the funding to kind of help, because we want to help you, and then,
well,
if we could do something to help, because I saw we're not gonna get the basketball court now.
Right.
No, but we're getting the pickleball.
I'm excited about that,
I do
because
too.
that,
That's
it would
awesome.
be nice for us to have funding so that we could try to help
Right.
other
Yeah.
areas as well. But I know right now, our biggest concern is trying to help you, because that's that main part of the street where if that doesn't happen.
well, and honestly, like I said, if you continue reading, like I'm prepared to meet that deadline. And Jay said that they'd be maybe okay with, signing extension, but he's been unusually on me about the topic, which he has never been. So I'm just wondering if something's going on, there's cold feet or something, I don't know. If I get into it, I obviously have money in it. And I'm probably not going to start work on it until it happens, I have the funds to do it.
Yeah.
Because I can't buy it and then put another $40,000 in it.
Right.
Definitely not gonna be able to do that.
So what
This is
is
just to
our
secure it.
availability outside of, like, financially, what do we have financially available?
What we
Like
put down at 30.
And that doesn't,
And honestly, we've got some commitments this year
Yeah.
coming out of that, like we're
So-
wanting to pay 1 year, 1 for our agreement with them.
so what if we were able to say, well, we can do 15 to begin with, and then once we sell the property, do the rest of it? Does that include?
I mean,
maintenance and
I'm not looking for that.
Okay,
That'd be up to you guys, but, before I have, that grant, windows alone are gonna be like 16 grand, installed, so however you guys wanna handle that, but I also don't wanna be like, we put you guys in a position, like, I know you guys have other things going on too, I'm not the center of your world, so, however you guys choose to handle it, it's fine.
which that may be something we
Need to discuss
Yeah.
after we see what we got
Yeah.
coming out. and
see what we
everything.
have coming down, because I mean, I think we could help him
Well, right.
to
but
begin
I'm
with,
just-
without it waiting on, but just not the full 46.
Yeah.
Or the full 46 we just don't have.
Yeah, and I could see a situation, sorry, not to cut you off, but, just say you get 15,000, and then you're like, well, we've got 15,000 now, so you can at least do the windows or whatever, and then my 2 years starts, and then a year and a half goes by, and you guys can't sell the property until then. I'm not gonna be able to get the stuff done in 6 months. if I
Isn't
chose
that
to.
worded in there though too, that it,
From the
Yes.
grant, From the
The full
closing.
funding, the full funding of the 46 is when the 2 year
Yeah.
starts.
Right.
So even if we give you 15,000 or 16,000, because we know that's the cost of the windows, it doesn't actually start until we truly sell the property.
Yeah, if you guys wanted to put it in an account and I just sell it on to it, I haven't thought about that, honestly. If you did that, I'm like, well, maybe I get the windows in and. I would
And that's
probably
just a good
copy
faith
you
thing on
guys.
our part too, because
Yeah.
we want you to understand that we truly do,
Yeah,
we like the idea of where all this is going. And we don't have exactly the funds right now, but we have enough that we could at least assist you
yeah,
in getting started. And maybe you say, well, you know what, I'm gonna use 8,000 towards the windows and the other 8,000, I'm gonna get the apartments ready. That's on you, that we don't have
Yeah.
any say on what you're doing with it
Yeah.
first.
right. And I would, yeah, want that to be clear that, you know.
That
there wouldn't
we're
be any
giving, we are
expectations
funding
that
you
there was
and,
partial
and you
funding.
can do what you're gonna do. And then once we get the full funding, that day that we hand over the full funding, then you've got 2 years from that point.
Right.
So,
So you got that all?
Yeah, I just got.
poor Derek.
Timeline-
We just-
It's recorded,
Okay.
Yeah,
but I got timeline starts on full grant amount.
yeah, full funding,
Yeah.
not just when we give you $50 and say have a good time on the streets, right?
The only other, honestly, real big concern I have, is we don't know who else is out there trying to do stuff. It might be no one, but I do feel like it's a little bit of a political risk that people will get wind of it and they say, well, they just gave $46,000. And my only thought was, do we want to put it out there publicly for 30 days so that the redevelopment commission's willing to offer an incentive to anyone wanting to open a business on North Street, part of our investment. Maybe Caleb's the only one, maybe Caleb's the best one. We do that in April, we have our MOU signed, ready to go. And then if we have people that say that, we can say, we put it out there, we were looking for
Well,
other
but
businesses.
isn't
and
this is public, right? I mean,
It is public.
So that, if they're interested in starting, I mean, we welcome everyone to be able to come do it, but Caleb's been talking to us since what? October, maybe even earlier?
Yeah.
I mean, I personally, I feel like if you wanna come, once we get funding, we're more than happy to help you. You know, we obviously offered Lenover a steal, if you know, come talk to us. We'll see what we can do for you, just like we are him. Bring a good
Yeah,
plan. I really don't see why we have to.
Okay, that's fine, I just.
Yeah.
Is
I
everyone
just-
agree?
Yeah.
I don't think we should have to say, you know, we're offering this, who's next in line? I mean, who wants to take his place? No,
Only
we're
because we
offering-
want people that really wanna do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's committed to this.
Yeah, I mean, he's been here for
This is
6
legit.
months
This
and
is
we've been
legit.
talking
Yes,
about it
I
for
agree.
6 months and
Yeah.
he's.
I'm sure there's gonna be people talking.
There,
Yeah,
there will. I mean,
Oh,
that's-
and we know that,
Yeah.
but has anybody come knocking on our door wanting to do anything?
Yeah.
So
And we would
You know,
love
and
to
this
do,
is-
I mean,
this is
honestly,
the-
please do.
this
Please
is,
do.
Yeah.
right, but this has been dragging out for a little while, so we're
Yeah.
trying to finalize this, so.
Yeah.
I just say that we
Yeah, I would
stay
love for
with
someone else
what
to
we're
do.
doing right now,
I think you're our guy.
yeah.
And not to say that the next person won't be too. You
Yeah,
know, if we
right,
can-
you know,
yeah, once
eventually,
we
but
have
right now,
that
yeah.
property sold, if we have extra income, we'd
Yeah.
love to help everybody build up in
Yeah.
Dillsboro.
Yeah,
We would love to take good, solid things like this and that's our job. That's what we're here for, so.
So I think our next step then would be to have this MOU ready,
right,
get all the terms agreed, and we'll have that. Then, as soon as, you know, we could probably start a conversation with CDC at that point, so we have to sign the MOU. And Gage, I don't know if you're still with us,
Yep,
How are you feeling, Gabe?
if we,
I'm chilling.
what's your thoughts if we have a formal MOU between, Caleb and the redevelopment commission on kind of this proposal, and it's contingent on the sale of Lenover Street? Is there any sense, or could we save some time by getting that conversation started with the CDC?
Yeah, I've actually got an email drafted up to Anthony Smart right now, saying I think it's time we start getting you involved in this to begin speaking. So yeah, I think that having that MOU, I'll see what Anthony says. He may want to start have a meeting with redevelopment, or with John or with you, Derek, to kind of start to understand the project more. So yeah, I'll keep,
We
I'll
pretty well
keep you
agreed
updated.
to this, right? We're agreeing to do this. This is agreement.
That's the
Yeah.
consensus I get. Like I said, I think once we have that.
I don't want him to walk
MOU,
out and be like, so do we have to wait
What's
for
going
another
on?
thing? No,
Yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
right now is, I mean, we can vote on it, but yeah. I'm saying that we're agreeing to this and he can go and do what he needs to do, because we're agreeing to do the 46,000 with these contingencies and
Right.
everything's gonna be great and we can't wait to see what you do.
Well, Derek, I would add that, it would be upon the closing of any real property that you guys own. So if you have a lot in town, like, hey, sell this, it would be, that would trigger that as well. As long as there was enough proceeds from the sale.
Right.
So I don't wanna necessarily tie
Right.
directly to Lenover, because I don't know anything about Lenover, you know? I just know a little bit from what you guys have talked about.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's the only one that's ready to go.
Yeah.
Everybody else is gonna pick some luck.
We almost need money. We need about $46,000 in the other property to even get some interest in, I think, at this point.
Right.
And then the rest of them are vacant lots aside from the arts building, and I don't think we'll get them out.
And then I feel really good, just I've spent a lot of hours on this. But I'll have probably an attorney look at it too,
Yeah.
just to, you know.
Like I said, we still gotta iron out some things to stick in that MOU, but I think we do need to get it on paper, that way we all see it.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's no going back and saying, well, I thought you meant this or this.
Yeah.
But I think that MOU would be the next step, then we can clearly have a little more formal agreement with the terms, we can share that with CDC. And then we're just kind of waiting for us to get the proceeds for it to really kick in. Yeah.
Yay,
That's good.
I can't wait.
Are we gonna be voting on anything? Cause I got a meeting in 5 minutes over the phone.
I don't think there's a sense of voting, like I said, because the MOU is what really matters, what we really vote on, what we sign.
Yeah.
I think we all are. in
Yeah,
consensus.
so we're doing the MOU next time we vote,
Yeah,
just
Is that
to,
next week?
no, we talked about the 25th, if necessary.
yeah, I would rather do that sooner rather.
That's fine.
Cause it was.
I would rather do
right?
sooner.
I
We
forgot
can't
you
do
said
the
that.
18th.
I'm out of town, Dave.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
so
what thought.
I would rather us do it sooner rather than later, so if we said the
And then we can,
25th is what we said.
yeah, and then we could actually negotiate sales at Lenover Street on the 20th. So that would
Okay.
actually give us a couple days. If someone is interested, I can have 5 days to try to get them in here
Perfect.
on the 25th.
Okay.
I'll try to quickly go through them. If you got to pick off, Barry, I mean,
Yep.
we got 3.
I got a couple of minutes here, but go ahead. If I see up and
Anything
walk-
else you need from us, Kayla?
No, I think that
Okay,
answers.
so I'll kind of share these terms with our attorney. Like I said, I don't have one to cut that financing one, but we'll see what we come up with.
Okay.
So before she has to go to CD, I talked to Chris, our CEO about it, and he has agreed to a 0.2 bump in our current rate.
Cool.
He also, I told him that we may be interested in pulling it down to just the 200 again. That way we can take that funding out, put it in so that we have extra funding for this situation and for any other situation we have going. He said he didn't have a problem with that at all. So I told him when that comes up, we're gonna redo for a year.
What rate was it at?
I think 12 months. Don't hold me to
It was
it.
only 3 something.
3.3.
I assume it's the same as council.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 3.35, and I think we're going to either 3.3 or 3.55 or 3.6 APR, and the AP or percentage
So-
yield is like 3 point. I don't know.
When Rita shared what she was told, it was a 6 month and an 8 month. There's 2 different
Right, there
options.
wasn't a year.
It wasn't a year?
And the 6 month was 3.61, the 8 month was 3.51.
Yeah.
So I assume they expect rates to drop if they're.
And that was for 6 and 8?
Yeah, but they didn't do
So
it.
that was, I wasn't sure which one you guys would rather do. The 6 months higher rate, but in 6 months it might be.
He told me,
2.5.
let me talk to him again, because he told me higher rates, which, and that may just be because I went to him.
Okay.
And I'm part of the development, so, which
I
that really isn't
assume-
fair. But that, sorry,
I assume we'd still be looking at that full $200,000.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I told him, that we would be
We
taking out the
we
extra.
might want to do a motion on that, just to, in case it does happen, we don't have to,
Yeah.
I guess the 25th, if we get together on 25th.
Cause that's the day it goes on, right, is the 25th?
It's right
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah, so, cause
It's-
I know our 10-day grace
I
period is
think it
after
was-
the 25th, cause I knew we were gonna be here on the 25th, cause I looked at it and I said, hey, we're gonna be redoing this, what rate will you give me? And he said, for a year, we'll do a 0.2 bump, so I think it was, 3 point. I think
I'm
it was
just shocked that he can
3.55.
do a whole year.
I would think he could, but I just would think the rates are probably lower, is why they didn't share that. I'm not sure why Rita didn't
Yeah.
give us. a
I'm
12-month
amazed,
list.
because we don't even do an 8-month, I'm amazed that that was even an offer.
Yeah.
I don't,
But
I
but
mean,
didn't know they had the 6-month of the high rate why.
Yeah.
which may just be,
I assume they're just assuming that the rates are. gonna be
yeah,
going
oh,
down.
yeah, I mean, we know rates are going down.
Yeah.
I mean, I can guarantee that. That's why I asked him that day, because if something comes up before then, I'm gonna get him to approve me redoing it and changing it before the rates go down. Because if something,
Okay, guys.
I want us to get that rate, so
See, Jerry.
See ya.
Yeah, Jerry.
See ya.
I'm kind of,
Okay, so I guess we'll just kind of table the CD
Yeah.
until the 25th.
I mean, if something comes up and the rates are gonna go down, I'll call you and you can send a message out, and if we have to do a quick vote and say, yeah, do it now. To keep the rate, because that's my goal, is to keep the rate as high as I can keep it.
Okay.
Because I think it was 3.55 APR is what he said, so for a year.
Okay.
So, which kind of splits that in the middle. But, I mean, I don't want to do a 6-month, just because in 6 months it's gonna be less.
Yeah.
I would prefer to a year, if that's okay with everybody else, I mean, that's,
Yeah, well, I think we can wait till you get it back.
Yeah.
and we'll-
I have to take off.
Yeah,
Really
Hey.
appreciate your time.
nice to
Yeah,
see
thank
you.
Yeah.
Okay. I can skip over the seller stuff, there's nothing huge to report. I did want to just mention, and I think I've already hit on it with the Linover Street property. Like I said, we're kind of at that 30-day timeline. I've already reached out to the 3 people that kind of approached me originally. And just kind of let them know that, hey, this is our timeline, we can negotiate a lower price after the 20th. So I'll probably hit them again on the 20th and just see if I can't get them to come here. So we can try to get some
Get
sort
something
of
started.
agreement and process and sell that property. Last month, we talked about the One Dearborn's Economic Development Agreement, the Lilly Grant Endowment, and kind of the old shoe shop. I did just want to report that, they came to the council meeting, Gage was there, and the town council did formalize an MOU with One Dearborn, so that they could use the old shoe shop as a grant application for these Lilly endowment funds. So my understanding is if they're successful, we could get a chunk of money to kind of rehab that property. And I mean, we don't necessarily have anyone interested, but we can put some more money into it.
My understanding.
I've got an update on that too, Derek. We met with SEI Ready, who's the board that directs where the ready money goes and also sends up any application up to the IEDC. And they voted on a yes for that application. So that will be getting sent to the IEDC on Friday.
Great,
Nice,
great. Yeah, it certainly is.
yeah, but that'd be nice to have another building ready to.
Yeah, a little more marketable, because right now.
And
it does need some
and you
work.
said that's the spot right there beside the US Bank parking lot, is that where that is?
No, that's across from the Art Center next to the old doctor's office, Dr. Luke's on North Street, that's at Cloven's. That white building right next to it.
Okay. Okay, 2-story, something
Yeah.
like that.
And
That has,
I've been trying to talk to town into transferring that to the redevelopment commission.
Yeah.
But they've just been a little hesitant up to this point, but I think at some point it should happen, just
Yeah.
because you guys have a little more flexibility, and that's supposed to be with redevelopments, you know. Right, so I'll keep on about that, but either way, I'm happy they agreed that MOU, and, you know, there's a potential to get some funding on that property.
Yeah.
So, and then I did just we talked about this too, about the March meeting. We can keep it with the 25th. I thought about suggesting maybe just being flexible, that, you know, if we need to, it might make sense the first week of April, just depending on if we get all this stuff ironed out with Caleb.
maybe we don't quite have someone ready to go on, Glenover Street property. Just because it's only 5 days to really talk about, so I thought about suggesting maybe additional or just kind of be flexible, but we can just kind of keep it at the 25th for now.
At least come, talk to me, especially the CD over and stuff like that, and then we'll,
Yeah.
and we'll see what we have to do for the beginning of April. We may have to do something.
But it might make sense to be earlier in April than later in April.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if Caleb's looking at May 1st.
Yeah, I mean, we may have to kind of,
Yeah, let's just play that by ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll plan on the 25th, but just like I said, hopefully we can get these out and let's get some stuff kind of eat, and then we can take later half of April off or something.
well, it'd be nice if we could take off, May too, instead of April. Maybe April's just kind of a
Yeah.
disaster, but May, we've kind
Enjoy
of
the
got everything
homecoming.
calmed down. Everything calmed down by May, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
That's all I got.
Anybody else have anything they wanted to discuss? Do you have a motion to end the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Gage.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Yeah.